Hi boys and girls, welcome to Everyday Math Lesson 2.2, Reviewing Easy Addition Facts. The materials that you'll need today, notebook paper, pencil, math journal, and your calculator just when we get to math boxes question number 1. Let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is go over our math boxes from the previous lesson, and this is page 23. If you're noticing that you have any mistakes, please fix those with your pencil and eraser. So for question number 1, 6 apples are red, 5 apples are green. How many apples in all? I know that my answer is 11 apples because 6 plus 5 equals 11. For question number 2, show 14, but pretend that that 1 is broken and we're showing in 2 different ways. So I chose 7 plus 7 and 9 plus 5. There's lots of different ways to get to 14, so you could have had different answers than me. Just double check to make sure that you did not use a 1 in your answer. For question number 3, fill in the blanks. If I start at 83, then I have 82, 81, and I'm still counting backwards, so then I have 80, 79, and 78. For question number 4, use less than greater than when comparing these numbers. So 4 plus 5 we know is 9. So 9 is less than 10. 7 plus 4 we know is 13. So 12 would be greater than 13. Now boys and girls, for this third one, you could have had a different answer. So I chose 5 for this one. In my example, I think I chose 2, but this time I chose 5. So I know that 8 plus 5 is equal to 13. Well, 15 is greater than 13. And again, you maybe had something different than me for that one. And for the last one, 6 plus 7 is equal to 13, which is greater than 15 minus 4, because 15 minus 4 is equal to 9. If it's helpful for these ones to write down what each of these equal next to it, that's a great strategy. For question number 5, write the time, and you should have had 6 o'clock. For question number 6, how much money? And you should have had $11.40. 10 plus 1 is 11, and then I had 25. 10 would be 35, and a nickel to get me to 40. Please double check to make sure you had this page correct, and if you had any mistakes, you can fix those with your pencil and eraser. We're going to put our math journal to the side just for a moment, and we'll use our whiteboard or notebook for the next 3 slides. If the speed is ever too fast, please pause as often as needed. Jackson has 7 books. His grandmother gives him 5 more books. How many books does Jackson have now? Can you show me a number model and also tell me what the unit is? Press pause and then play when you have your answer. So my number model, I have 7 plus 5 equals 12. And my unit would be books. Let's try 2 more like that. Sally has 12 fish in her fish tank. Sam has 14 fish. How many fish in all? Can you give me the number model and solve? And also tell me what the unit is? Press pause and then play when you're ready to hear the answer. We know that 12 plus 14 would get me to 26. And my unit would be fish. Let's try one more. Sam has 5 cars. Katie has 6 cars. How many cars do they have together? Can you tell me the number model, answer, and the unit? Press pause and then play. So we should have 5 plus 6 equals 11, and my unit is cars. If you want more practice with those, you can continue making up some problems on your own before moving on. But the next thing we'll do is we'll put our notebook to the side and we'll take out our math journal. We're going to take a look at pages 25 and 26. So for page 25, how many spaces do you move to go from 17 to 23 on the number grid? So notice how they placed a counter on the number 17, and then they counted until they got to 23. So they were at 17, so then they counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 spaces before landing on 23. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to figure out how many spaces from each of these numbers. If it's helpful to use a counter or to make a mark with your pencil at where you're starting, please feel free to do so. And then press play when you're ready to talk about your answers. All right, second graders, if I'm going from 23 to 28, I'm going to use this counter and I'm going to put it on 23. And I'm going to count with you. So I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from 23 to 28, I should have had 5. I'm going to go from 15 to 55 next. So I'm going to put my counter at 15. Now, since I'm noticing that I'm going to be going straight down, then I'm going to count by 10. So instead of going across, I'm going to go down and count by tens. So I would have 10, 20, 30, 40. So to go from 15 to 55, I had 40. And again, I counted by 10. Since it's right below it, I would count 10, 20, 30, 40. What about if I'm going from 39 to 59? Look at again how I can count by tens. So from 39 to 59, I would count 10, 20. So my distance would be 20. And if you're wanting more time in between each of these, please press pause. This time I'm going from 27 to 42. If I go from 27 to 37, that would be 10. Then I would have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So from 27 to 42, it was 15 spaces. This time I'm going backwards. I'm going to start at 34 and I'm going to 26. I could either go to 10 and count back 2 and think 10 minus 2, or I could count back until I get to 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But from 34 to 26, I would have had 8. From 54 to 42, I could go from 54 to 44, which would be 10, and then I would have 2 more, 11, 12. So from 54 to 42, it took me 12 spaces. From 15 to 25, that's a nice jump. I can see it's just 1 below, so it'd be 10. And my last one, from 26 to 34, for this one, I'm going to choose to count this way, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So from 26 to 34, it was 8 spaces. If you want to have more practice with that, you could make up some more problems on the side. But for the last thing that we're going to do, we'll talk about our math box page. So this is page 26. Boys and girls, if you have a calculator and you want to use your calculator for question number 1, I'll show you how to do that. So if I have my calculator and I'm going to count by threes, watch how I do this. I'm going to type in a 3 plus 3 equals. And before I click equals again, I would want to write down that 3. But then watch how it skip counts. So I have my 6. If I keep hitting equals, it's going to skip count for me. And then I can write my numbers on the line. Okay? For question number 2, you're filling in the missing numbers. Solving for number 3, don't forget about your unit. For question 4, I added in some lines, but I want you to show $1 3 different ways. But don't use a dollar bill. Just use coins, either quarters, dimes, or nickels. For question number 5, Mrs. Statz's class's favorite colors. So you can see we have red, blue, green, and yellow. Which color is the most popular? Which color had the most tallies? And for question number 6, fill in the circle that names the number. This number needs to have a 5 in the ones place, a 6 in the hundreds place, and a 3 in the tens place. Boys and girls, when you're all done with this page, please take a picture, put the picture on Seesaw for your classroom teacher, and we will go over this page in our next video. Thank you. See you next time.